One match, 90 minutes of football. That is all it took for the 2026 World Cup to claim its first managerial victim. In the entire 96-year history of this tournament, no nation has ever dismissed their coach after a single game. It is a completely new threshold for international football. The man on the receiving end of that history is Sabri Lamouchi, and the nation pulling the trigger is Tunisia. This decision followed a collapse involving a player mutiny, broken trust, and the conflicting influence of two very different sons. The collapse began on a Sunday night at Estadio Monterrey, where Tunisia opened their World Cup campaign against Sweden. What followed was a one-sided defeat. Sweden tore through the Tunisian defense, ending the night with a 5-1 victory, one of the worst results in Tunisia's World Cup history. Much of that damage was done early by a young Swedish forward named Yasin Ayari, who scored twice in the opening minutes. Ayari's father was born in Tunisia. The young man scoring these goals was actively dismantling the country of his family's heritage on the global stage. While Ayari took the points on the pitch, the firing of Sabri Lamouchi was driven by the actions of a completely different son behind the scenes. To understand why the Federation acted so fast, we have to look at the foundation Lamouchi had built before the squad ever landed in Mexico. This timeline breaks down Lamouchi's short tenure. Out of 5 matches in charge, Tunisia managed exactly 1 victory, a narrow 1-0 win over Haiti. In the final warm-up friendlies against Austria and Belgium, the offense disappeared. Tunisia scored 0 goals and conceded 6. This wasn't an isolated slump. In the 14 months prior to this appointment, Lamouchi had already been fired by 2 different clubs in Saudi Arabia. Based on the data, the team arrived in North America with no momentum and a deeply unstable coaching situation. These tactical failures led to the locker room actively turning against the manager. The tension surfaced during the Sweden match. In the 72nd minute, with the defense struggling, Lamouchi substituted Sheffield Wednesday defender Jan Valery. Valery reacted with visible, public fury. When players show this level of frustration on international television, it indicates the coaching relationship has effectively ended. The final issue, the incident involving the second son, happened before the tournament began. According to reports from the camp, Lamouchi brought his own son into Tunisia's private training base. The Tunisian Federation demanded to know why an individual with no official role was granted direct access to the squad during their final preparations. By the time the Sweden match ended, Lamouchi had lost the support of his players and his employers. The 5-1 defeat provided the final justification to make a change. In-tournament sackings are rare but not unknown. Spain dismissed Julen Lopetegui right before their 2018 opener. However, removing a manager after a single game requires a high level of urgency. To manage the fallout, Tunisia hired Hervé Renard. This is now his 3rd consecutive World Cup with a 3rd different country. They selected Renard for his specific track record of stabilizing international squads on extremely short notice. In 2022, his Saudi Arabia side successfully neutralized Lionel Messi's Argentina in their opening match, defeating the eventual champions through disciplined organization. Renard has repeatedly demonstrated the ability to organize competitive teams in high-pressure, short-turnaround environments. Even with that experience, the challenge is significant. Renard has almost no time to train the squad before their next fixture. The Group F standings show the difficulty ahead. Japan and the Netherlands already have points, while Tunisia sits at 0. They face Japan next on June 20th. A second defeat likely ends their tournament before facing the Netherlands. Did the Tunisian Federation make a necessary, ruthless correction? Or did they just panic and damage their chances before the tournament truly began? Let us know your verdict in the comments, and make sure to subscribe. We are only 5 days into this World Cup, and it is already ending coaching careers. Lamouchi won't be the last.